Hello, I'm Ollie, and this is Criminolly, where I talk about crime, pulp, horror, that kind of thing. Today, killer animals, giant books, and comics. It's my weekly wrap-up. So this has been, for me, quite a slow reading week. I've only finished 2 books this week, which is a very low amount for me, I have to say. And that's particularly galling given that I've just started this challenge, the Read What You Own challenge, where I'm going to be reading 100 books I already own before buying any new ones. So I'll talk to you about the books I've finished this week. I'll talk to you about what I'm reading at the moment. And then I'll go through a bit of kind of channel stuff to let you know what's coming on the channel and what you might have missed over the last week or so. So firstly then, the books I finished. So 2 of those. So the first was Bats by William W. Johnston. So this I read for the From Hell Book Club, which is run by Kelly from Hooked on Books, whose channel is fantastic if you like horror. So Bats is a very cheesy killer animal novel about killer bats. In fact, they are giant mutant flesh-eating rabid vampire bats. So it was very silly. The politics were decidedly dubious at times, but I had a lot of fun with it. It was an enjoyable read. So that was the first book that I finished in my 100 book challenge. The second one was this. So this is The Vault of Horror, published by Dark Horse Press, which includes, I think it's issues 12 to 17 of the old EC comic Vault of Horror. What I don't know is why this, which is volume 1, starts with issue 12 rather than issue 1. I'm not sure what the reasoning for that is, and it doesn't explain it in the introduction anyway, but it was fun. This was kind of a 3-star read for me. It wasn't quite as horrible as I was hoping it might be. I have read quite a few of these old EC comics. I read them I guess it was in the late 80s when they republished them. And they have a reputation, for being, really grim, or really grim for their time anyway. Some of these were a bit tame, to be honest with you. There were a couple that were really quite good. But they're certainly a fun read. The artwork's really nice and colourful. So yeah, I did enjoy this. I've got one of their crime anthologies or omnibuses as well, so I'll be reading that at some point. But yeah, I had a good time with that. So those are the 2 books I finished. I'm reading 2 books at the moment, which is not unusual for me. I normally try and only read 1 book at a time, and in fact that The Vault of Horror I read whilst reading Bats. So I normally aim to only read 1 book, and I do find that I get through books more quickly if I'm only reading 1 book. At the moment, I'm reading 2 books, as I say, and they are both absolutely huge, which I think is why I've only finished 2 books this week. So the 2 books are these. So Drood by Dan Simmons. So this was very kindly sent to me by subscriber Rick Croucher a while ago. I finally got around to it, and I am loving it so far. So I'm 150 odd pages in. It's about Charles Dickens, and it's told from the perspective of Wilkie Collins, the writer of The Woman in White, amongst other things. And it's kind of creepy, it's kind of adventure-y, it's really nicely written. It's just a really, really enjoyable read so far. So I'm having an absolutely great time with this. And then also reading this, which is the complete all-in-one Death Note volume, which is 2,400 pages long, so it's an absolute beast. But again, I'm really, really enjoying this so far. It's really fast-paced. It's very episodic, as you'd expect from something that was originally serialised. And there's loads of twists and turns and things like that. But it's a really entertaining read. Wasn't that a nice sound as well? I'm gonna go a bit closer to the microphone and do a bit of kind of ASMR. That sound nice? I could probably make a whole video just me doing that. Anyway, yeah, I'm enjoying this a lot so far, and I'm going to try and finish it this weekend. So I am just over a quarter of the way through. So I'm up to chapter 36. I don't know how many chapters there are, but absolutely loads. So yeah, I'm going to try and finish this weekend, because given that it's manga and there's not many words on a page, it is quite quick reading. So yeah, I'd like to try and get this done, and then I will just focus on finishing Drood after that. But yeah, a lot of fun so far. I'm very much enjoying it. What I will read when I finish those, I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I think I will probably be in the mood for something shorter So I've got these 4 shorter books on my TBR for this month. So I've got Sicilian Slaughter, Earthfire, Baxter, and Vengeance Valley. So I will probably pick one of those next. And then after that, I'll be diving into Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is the monthly read for my Birth Year Book Tag reading group. So a lot of people have started that already. There's a good discussion going on the Discord. There's a link to my Discord in the description for the video. So do join up if you fancy talking about Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy or any other book. We're always chatting about books on there. So yeah, it's a book I've read before. In fact, I've probably read it 2 or 3 times. But yeah, looking forward to reading that one again. In terms of channel stuff then, so over the last week or so, I did a video of like top 10 science fiction books for people who think they don't like science fiction, which I quite enjoyed doing. I did a review of The Bats and also of this book, Feral, published in the UK as The Cats by Bertrand Rocher, so kind of a comparative review of a Killer Cats and a Killer Bats book. I did a review, well not really a review, a non-review of Great Expectations by Charles Dickens and talked about why I didn't finish that book. I did my final book haul video after starting the 100 book challenge, and I did the relationships tag as well, which was quite fun. And then in the week ahead, this week has been absolutely crazy at work. It's been one of the busiest weeks at work I've had for ages, and next week isn't looking much better, to be honest with you. I've got 2 like full days when I'm going to be in meetings. So I haven't had as much time to kind of plan videos as I normally do. But I will be doing a review of Cows by Matthew Stokoe, which I read last week. And if I finish Death Note, I'll be doing a review of Death Note. And I'll be doing, the normal stuff. I'll try and get something up every day. I'm just not quite sure what it's going to be yet. The other thing I wanted to say is, so I said I did a book haul video. I did order a bunch of books before starting the 100 book challenge. Not all of them have arrived yet. So I thought rather than doing a separate book haul video, I'll just show these ones quickly. So one of the things I did was buy the next few books in the Executioner series. So I have got here, let's show them in order. So book 19, which is Detroit Deathmatch by Don Pendleton. Lovely old Pinnacle edition. This might even be a first edition. Yeah, it is. So yeah, loving that. And then book 20 is, I've got the Corgi edition for that. So that's New Orleans Knockout. And then book 21, which is Firebase Seattle. So really looking forward to all of those. That's a pretty good cover as well, actually. That's a great bit of artwork. So yeah, looking forward to all of those. So I'll be diving into those at some point, which is the one I've got to read. So the one I'm reading next is book 16. So these are a few books away, but wanted to pick them up so I didn't trip over myself and not have the next book in the series if I get to these before I finish my challenge. So yeah, that's what I have been reading. That's what I'm going to be reading. That's a mini book haul, and that's what's coming up on the channel and what's been on the channel. Okay, so time for a random book from the shelves. This is one I got from the Abominable Book Club, The Ha by David Sodergren. I've read a few David Sodergren books and really, really enjoyed all of them. So I'm looking forward to this one, which I will be reading. I might try and squeeze it in December, actually. I'm doing the Christmas Evil Readathon, which has been organised by a bunch of channels. I'll put links to the announcement videos in the description for the video, in the description for this video, but it looks like a really fun, so it's a fun kind of horror challenge over the Christmas period or throughout December. I have already come up with a tentative TBR for that, but I might try and squeeze this in as well because I do really want to read this. David Sodergren's a great indie horror author if you've not read his stuff. Okay, hope you found that interesting. Do let me know what you've been reading this week. Let me know if you've read any of the books I've talked about. And as always, thanks very much for watching. Hope you're safe and well out there. Hope you're reading good stuff, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Cheerio.